March 7th, 2020, Turf Moor. Tottenham Hotspur are drawing 1-1 against Burnley at halftime. It is a miserable, gritty Premier League evening. But what happens next would define the trajectory of a £62 million man and the legacy of one of football's greatest managers.
Well, it is a massive formational reshuffle for Spurs at the start of the second half here. Plan A evidently didn't work. Ndombele and Skip give way.
At halftime, Jose Mourinho makes a double substitution. He pulls off Oliver Skip and he pulls off his club record signing Tanguy Ndombele. But Mourinho doesn't stop there. After the game, in front of the world's media, Mourinho breaks the unwritten rule of modern management. He singles out the player.
I'm not going to run away, and I have to say that Tanguy had enough time to come to a different level. I know that the Premier League is very difficult. I know that some players it takes time. Some players they take long time to adapt to a different league. But a player with his potential, with his responsibility, I think he has to give us more than he's giving us. And especially when you see the way Lucas, Lo Celso, players that are playing every minute, I was expecting more in the first half.
The football world erupted. Pundits tore into Mourinho. Fans accused him of destroying a generational talent. The narrative was set. Jose Mourinho was an outdated, bitter dinosaur who was ruining Tottenham's most gifted midfielder with his toxic, draconian man management. We all blamed Mourinho. We all felt sorry for Tanguy. But as the years rolled on, as managers came and went, and as the £62 million prodigy faded into complete obscurity, a cold, undeniable truth emerged. Jose Mourinho wasn't being toxic. He wasn't playing mind games. He was delivering a prophecy. He saw the fatal flaw in Tanguy Ndombele before anyone else did. He warned us, and absolutely nobody listened. To understand why Mourinho's comments caused such a massive earthquake, you have to understand exactly what Tanguy Ndombele was in 2019. He wasn't just a good player, he was viewed as a unicorn. At Olympique Lyonnais, Ndombele possessed a profile that every elite club in Europe was desperate for. He was press resistant, he had the physical frame of a defensive destroyer, but the quick feet of a Brazilian winger and the passing vision of a number 10. In the 2018/2019 Champions League, he absolutely bullied Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Pep himself came out and praised the young Frenchman. Real Madrid wanted him, Juventus wanted him, but it was Tottenham Hotspur who won the race. Coming off the back of a Champions League final appearance under Mauricio Pochettino, Spurs chairman Daniel Levy did something completely out of character. He smashed the bank, £62 million, a club record. They handed him a staggering £200,000 a week contract, tying him with Harry Kane. He was supposed to be the heir to Moussa Dembélé, the final piece of the puzzle to win Tottenham a Premier League title. His debut? A stunning goal against Aston Villa. The hype was stratospheric.
Ndombele! He is a Tottenham Hotspur! How deeply they craved for that, but Tottenham have found a way at last.
But behind the scenes, the cracks were already starting to show. Whispers from France about his diet, his work ethic, and his tendency to switch off were ignored, buried under the excitement of his raw talent. Then Mauricio Pochettino was sacked, and in walked a man who demands absolute, relentless perfection.
Okay, just in time to tell you about some sports news breaking from the United Kingdom. Tottenham have appointed Jose Mourinho as their new manager a day after the club sacked Argentine Mauricio Pochettino from the post. Mourinho said he was attracted to the top job due to the quality in both Spurs' squad and the academy. Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy also waxed lyrical about the Portuguese, calling him one of the most successful managers in football.
When Jose Mourinho arrived in North London in November 2019, he inherited a broken squad, but he also inherited the most expensive player in the club's history, a player he actually tried to sign when he was at Manchester United. Mourinho saw it immediately. The physical conditioning was simply not at the level of a professional athlete in the Premier League. Ndombele would play 45 minutes and look completely gassed. During training sessions, while players like Heung-min Son and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg were sprinting, Ndombele was often seen jogging, hands on hips. Mourinho even went to extreme, almost bizarre lengths to get him fit. During the COVID-19 lockdown in early 2020, Mourinho personally drove to a local park in London to run a one-on-one fitness session with Ndombele, breaking social distancing rules in a desperate attempt to get his star player into shape. But nothing worked, which brings us back to that night at Burnley. When Mourinho publicly stated that Ndombele had to give us more, he wasn't trying to destroy the player, he was playing his final card, public accountability. It was the same tactic he used with Joe Cole, with Eden Hazard, with Karim Benzema, but the modern football ecosystem doesn't like harsh truths. The backlash was instantaneous and severe. In the era of modern football, where player empowerment is at an all-time high, Mourinho's comments were viewed as archaic. Pundits lined up to take shots. "You don't treat a £62 million asset like that," they said. "Mourinho's man management is dead," they claimed. A narrative was aggressively pushed. Mourinho's defensive tactics were stifling Ndombele's creativity. If only Ndombele had a progressive, attacking manager, he would unlock his Ballon d'Or potential. The fans sided with the player. Whenever Ndombele did something flashy, a roulette in midfield, a no-look pass, clips would go viral on Twitter, accompanied by captions like, "Mourinho is wasting this generational talent." Mourinho was eventually sacked by Tottenham in April 2021, and a large contingent of the Spurs fan base rejoiced, largely because they believed Ndombele was now freed. The Wicked Witch was dead. Ndombele could finally fly, or so they thought. If Jose Mourinho was truly the problem, then his departure should have been the catalyst for Tanguy Ndombele's rise to superstardom. Let's look at the evidence. Post-Mourinho, Ndombele played under a succession of completely different managers. First, interim boss Ryan Mason dropped him. Then Nuno Espirito Santo arrived. After a few weeks, Nuno completely froze him out of the squad, citing a lack of match fitness and desire. Then came Antonio Conte, a world-class manager known for getting the best out of underperforming players. Under Conte, the final nail in the coffin was struck. In an FA Cup tie against Morecambe, a team from the third tier of English football, Spurs were losing 1-0. Conte substituted Ndombele. Instead of running off the pitch, Ndombele slowly, arrogantly walked off while his own fans viciously booed him out of the stadium.
10 minutes. They've got a future at this point, truly. Or management. No, I'm not sure about that.
Do your badges first.
Oh, I know.
We've got some breaking news coming in to us here on deadline day, and it involves Tottenham. Tanguy Ndombele has been announced by Lyon. Now, we understand that it's in the form of a loan, and the fee is said to be at €1.42 million.
Conte shipped him out on loan. The Mourinho was the problem myth was officially dead. But the tragedy of Ndombele didn't stop in London. He returned to his beloved Lyon on loan. They had an option to buy him back. They refused, citing his lack of impact. He was loaned to Napoli. Napoli had a historic season, winning Serie A, but Ndombele was merely a passenger. He started only 8 league games. The manager, Luciano Spalletti, barely trusted him for a full 90 minutes. Finally, In the summer of 2023, he went on loan to Galatasaray in Turkey, a league where his pure talent alone should have made him a god. Instead, Turkish media reported he arrived significantly overweight. Reports surfaced that he had a massive bust-up with manager Okan Buruk because Ndombele ordered a burger and fries to his hotel room after a Champions League match against Bayern Munich. 7 different managers, 4 different countries. The exact same story every single time. Lack of fitness, lack of application, lack of heart. In June 2024, Tottenham Hotspur announced that they had mutually agreed to terminate Tanguy Ndombele's contract a year before it was due to expire, the £62 million signing. The £200,000 a week superstar left for nothing, the biggest financial disaster in the history of Tottenham Hotspur. He eventually signed for Nice in League One on a free transfer, a desperate attempt to salvage a career that never really began. When we look back at the Tanguy Ndombele saga, it serves as a glaring indictment of the modern footballing landscape. We are so quick to protect the player, so quick to romanticize pure talent, that we vilify anyone who demands hard work to accompany it. Mourinho saw a player blessed with the gifts of a footballing god, but cursed with the mentality of a spectator. He risked his own reputation, faced the wrath of the media, and absorbed the hatred of the fans, all because he dared to speak the objective truth. He warned us in 2020. We called him toxic, we called him finished. But history is a ruthless judge, and history will record that regarding Tanguy Ndombele, Jose Mourinho was absolutely right, and nobody listened.